Okay, today we're going to talk about some things that are rarely talked about in the ZHAN ZHUANG and the standing. And that is the stage when the physical relaxes enough that you begin to sense the energy. And the link between the physical and the energetic, and how to use that to open up further. Okay, so we will start with the two basic energies. Energy from gravity, letting us drop down, and energy rising up from the earth, supporting us, right? It takes both of these two in order to work. So if we completely surrender to gravity, we fall down. But something is keeping us up. And we can talk about it as the earth energy. In acupuncture, they talk about upright chi, letting things rise. So in ZHAN ZHUANG, we're looking to find a balance between these two. And it's always important to start with the downward energy. And so the simplest thing to do, once things begin to get open physically, is to simply take your consciousness wherever it is at in your body and feel and look at the bottoms of your feet. If you do this and things are open, that is, the muscles are relaxed, the tendons and bones are aligned, and your consciousness has made its way into the bone marrow, then you will feel a sensation dropping through your body. And this sensation will have a physical sense, but it will also have an energetic sense. In order to get to this phase, you have to work with the descending heavenly energy, gravity energy, and the ascending earth energy to work through your blockages. Certain parts of the body are too expanded or stretched. Other places are too compressed or contracted. And we have to equalize these in order to have the body come into a balance whereby the left channel begins to separate and the right channel begins to separate, and the weight falls through those areas, and in the center of the body you begin to have an emptiness, a hollowness, and it is this central emptiness that is going to be able to work with, so that you can go further in gaining greater and greater relaxation, which will open up your channels and your organs and glands even further. Okay, so when muscles have a problem from injury or this or that, two things happen. They generally contract. That's most of what happens. That's why when we work with the heavenly energy, let's say Brock has something in the shoulder and it's a bit contracted. Well, as he lets go of the energy and let it elongate, then you can have some of this open up, okay? Just by letting it go. Okay, the next thing is, in certain places, people like sitting at computers and things like this and like that, you can have compression in here. Maybe in your sacral or lumbar region. In order to do that, you have to let the earth energy open these things back up. So our first step is to take everything down as much as possible. When we feel as much as possible, if you do this right and you get enough of these lines of gravity, to drop down in the body, it will begin to rise of itself back up, which is really what you want. Okay? So with Brock, the energy will rise or fall, linking to his mind, which we'll talk about in a minute. Right under the low rib here, we want to concentrate and see if we can get a little more opening here, a little more rounding from the center line of the spine, like a barrel, and the taking out of this fold here, right near the kidney. It will actually begin to come out until it doesn't exist when you're in the stand, because it's filled with chi and opened up. Okay, so from here, as his energy is down, then I'll say, allow the energy to rise up and let it lift whatever wants to lift with it. Okay, so he'll do that, and he'll find more opening in space. When this works, you will feel there is a greater amount of space in the body. Room, comfortableness, you might say. And now finally, how we can work with these things. When you've been able to drop the energy successfully through the left and right and make a certain amount of hollowness in the center, now it doesn't always necessarily precede this step, but this generally is what occurs, you begin to reach a place where your focus, your inner sight, and your feeling combined are able to make an influence on the body. Now this comes, of course, from developing at the center, the one point of concentration, enough of that, and finding the center from the back to the middle. This isn't the Dantian, it actually isn't the Mengmen exactly, but it's in the dead center. Eventually these two merge, and eventually this hollowness that is here spreads to the whole torso and beyond to the extremities. And so your body can feel very light after a period of extended standing. So, a way to see if you have reached this place for yourself is very simple. Take a place that feels a little bit odd or uncomfortable. Relax it by breathing into it, you might say, and letting it go as best you can physically, and focusing very gently but clearly your feeling and your sight in this area. And the body will want to do something. It may want to rise, it may want to fall, it may want to expand, it may want to shift. So you have to be sensitive to this and allow all this to happen. So now to follow up, we're going to test this ability of moving energy down underneath us and back up, and making it have an effect. At first, with enough practice, it has an effect on your body. Later, with more practice, it has an effect on opponent or practice partner body. So this whole technique of using your inner vision and feeling at the same instant, this is kind of merging the physical and the supra-physical. That's supra, S-U-P-R-A, beyond physical. We would call the etheric body in Taoism, you could call it a number of different things, electromagnetic body. But the idea being, and it was said in the ancient days of the masters, they would often, the student would feel a sharp electric shock charge as they were discharged. And this is this energy being utilized in this manner. You've actually taken your ability to imagine and your ability, which through, in other words, to see with your eyes closed, and your ability to feel, which you actually feel, and combine them, merge them into one thing, and then you get a result, something like this. So I will put my hand on him here. I'm not going to be going boom on top of him, but energetically you will see it. You will not see much here, but you'll see his body react. We're not making big movement, not shockwave movement. This is energy movement. The same thing that can occur coming up. Okay, if you want to come up, but when you want to come up, you must always use the Tai Chi principle, go down first to come up. Then you might have this result. You see a very slight physical motion, but not certainly enough physical motion to cause what occurred. And to show you that we're not making this up, then Brock can do the same thing. Sinking one first. Just empty the bone. The more you relax, the more he relaxed, the more energy comes out rather than physical. So that would be something like this. Come up half a step. If I'm going to do the going down one, for instance, here's me with muscles cooperating and moving slightly. You're going to get that feeling. Down, bounces out. But the same thing can be done, and you have to learn to separate the desire to do something physically, to push him down, make him do something, with just the pure energetic intent. Okay? Energetic intent. And there he goes.